Okay, we're talking the Harry Potter franchise here with Brandon Alger from Propstore, right before the big entertainment memorabilia live auction in Los Angeles. MLALA.
Yes, MLALA.
See, it's catching on. I'm just going to brainwashing you. MLALA, which is September 4th, 5th, and 6th, day one, September 4th, live at the Peterson Museum. But more importantly, to do any kind of bidding, to check out the items, go to propstore.com, check it all out, order a catalog, go crazy, and check out all our other videos. A really nice selection of Harry Potter stuff. I'm going to start over here, actually, because this is actually a Daniel Radcliffe. This is his sort of outfit from his sort of obviously civilian outfit, if you will, from Azkaban, which I think still for me, of all of them, is my favorite movie. I guess a little bit because of, what's his name, the director, Children of Men, Alfonso Cuarón. I love it. I loved the way it got darker. I love the way the movie got a little more realistic, and that, by the way, includes, I think, just even how Harry both performs emotionally, but also how he dresses. And it's just a very nice, simple, and yet somewhat I remember it, so it's kind of what you want.
Do you prefer Azkaban to Wrath of Khan?
No,
Okay.
It's no Wrath of Khan,
Right.
but it's still really good.
It's
It's still
a
really
great
good.
film. Yeah.
Now, Children of Men. Well, anyway.
Okay.
And then we have a Gryffindor robe, which is no specific character. It's just a
robe.
house
Yeah,
robe.
generic.
Obviously, there were a bunch of them, but still very fun. Just to see it, obviously, with the patch, which is very special. And then a couple of things that I just think are really wonderful that I kind of wanted to end on. So I think we've seen Harry Potter glasses before.
Yes.
But this is a pair of glasses from the first movie.
Specific to the first movie.
It's very specific, both in terms of the design and the size, because we forget how young and little he
They're
was.
tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are really tiny in a really wonderful way. Very specific, just in terms of like the time and the making of that movie.
And these have been in the same collection, I think, since almost right after the film came out.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
These originated with a production source, like I say, exact same collector. Everything about them is right. If you go in and study the frame, all the little subtleties of it, exactly correct to the film.
Wands, which we're going to come back to, but this is my favorite of the Harry Potter pieces, just because of what this plays in the entire universe, but in basically every movie, which is there's the going to the train to go and the 9 3/4, and this is a track sign from 9 3/4.
Yeah.
Do we know a specific movie, or we just know from the franchise?
I don't think we know the movie, and look, I'm sure there were a number of
them. There are a number of them, because
but
you see, I think, a number of them just in general, but that's okay.
Look, it came off a set that was being struck in the UK, and it's a dumpster salvage piece, but a really great one.
But it is a 9 3/4 track one. Yeah, it's a really, sometimes with movies and props, you're looking for the one and done. I realize that's not your business model. You're looking for the 30 and done. But in terms of the collector, often for a movie that you like, you get one good piece and you call it a day.
Check the box.
Yeah,
in that film.
and I think everything we're looking at is pretty wonderful. But in terms of like one and done, 9 3/4 sign.
Yeah.
What more do you need?
Definitely. Definitely.
Really,
Yeah.
I think really lovely. I just love the work on it. Obviously the graphics, which the movies are famous for, just really nice. And that brings us to the wands. Now, wands, how do we start with? This is an area there has been a lot of fakes. There's no other way of saying that.
Yeah.
Why do we feel good here?
I mean, I think what we can say is, especially over the past 2 to 3 years, for whatever reason, we have turned down an increasing number of Potter wands. It just seems like there's more in circulation. All of a sudden, every collector has them. Going back 5 to 10 years, there were a few wands.
They were
around,
rare, yes,
but they were more rare.
I'm going to go one step further. These are my words, not Brandon's. It feels like at this point, people are making wands for illicit purposes. You don't have to. You can agree or disagree as you see fit. I believe people are actually committing some level of fraud, which unfortunately a little bit ruins it for the rest of us. So if you are going to go for a wand, which I don't think I wouldn't stay away from wands, but I would be very careful when it comes to wands, and you're looking for certain things. And this first example, which is a Harry wand from Azkaban, is particularly wonderful for a couple of reasons.
So it's very specific.
Yeah.
So it's been made, it's a light-up wand, and for me, the light-up wands are always slightly more interesting because there's just more workmanship in them. I do think there are questionable examples of light-up wands.
Yeah,
now
unfortunately,
also.
for a while, it seemed like there were.
For a while, they were gold.
They were the gold. Yes.
It was like, if it's light up, it's definitely real, because who would ever fake it? Later, more recently, it does feel like perhaps there are some dubious light up wands floating out there. This one has a very specific switch here on the handle, and lights up on the end there, and it's used specifically for the Marauders map scenes in Azkaban. It's this is a weighty piece that's like there's a metal core to it here. And I think when you talk about, like how do we assess wands?
Right.
We're really looking at, one, what is the history and provenance?
Right. So where is it coming from?
Right.
Even if you can't specifically say, you can. Yeah.
For us, the fact that pieces like these have been with the same collectors for 10, 15, 20 years, that is a good sign versus I picked it up from another
these up a year ago.
3 months ago. And that is unfortunately a lot of what we're getting offered now. We go, what is the history? There just isn't really any history. And so it's that, and then it's the overall construction. And we do see some specific problems with that. Like we see things where there's obviously an extra seam line, like it's been remolded, or it's something that should be, it's sort of the body style of a light up wand, but it's not light up, it's a solid cast. It's things that, people who have studied the wands in and out say it just doesn't line up.
The other thing that's really lovely, I mean, besides this very specific mechanism, which at least so far no one has really faked, the paint job.
Yes.
And I know this is a tough thing because people go, well, what should I look for?
Yeah.
And it's hard to say, but it's just, these are sophisticated paint jobs.
It's just that there's an overall quality to it, I think, that you don't see on some of them. Some of them, it's just, I see what I would describe as artificial wear, where it almost looks like somebody's gone in and kind of taken a knife or sandpaper to knock chunks of the paint off more than it wearing in an organic way. And I mean, paint finish has been a big one. The other thing with Propstore is obviously we have the office here in LA, we have the office in London. We know a lot of people that worked on these movies very directly, that were literally the guys in the workshops painting them. Steve and Tim, people like that who've been doing this for so long in London, they have relationships with guys who were heads of department on Harry Potter. And in some cases we've gone, look,
check this out.
What do you think
that does
about
not
this?
look right.
And we've gotten opinions. And I can say we're turning down a lot more wands than we're taking into the auction.
For me, when I look at the paint jobs, it's almost about the layers. Do you know what I mean? Like when I look at the fakes that, by the way, I own, unfortunately, they just look brown. I don't know how to describe it. They just look like someone painted it brown.
Yeah.
And when you look at these, there's just a sense of multiple layers of different colored browns, creating a real sense of, forgive me, tree bark or whatever specific tree it's supposed to be.
And none of the kind of like amateur sandpaper stuff that just
and
indicates
on ones like
wear.
this is the Dumbledore wand, a delicacy. It feels like on some of the later ones that have been molds of molds, they're thicker. They're a little, they're not as elegant in a way.
Yeah. And there's just an overall quality here. You're not seeing any visible seam lines really. Even at the tip or the butt of it, it's a very well-made prop.
Yeah, I mean, again, just and look at the paint job. I mean, it just
the
really,
sort of subtlety of tones in here, this part with the runes on it. So look, there isn't one sort of smoking gun trait.
We wish we could tell you, look for the X. Yeah. It's not a science.
It's a combination
but if you start
of all
to
the
look
factors.
at them, and if you look at real ones, if you look at ones I think that you guys have sold. By the way, if you visit some of the exhibits which have real ones traveling, you can start to notice things that are wrong. You may not always know they're 100% wrong, but things that start to kind of come at you.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a lesson in that a little bit.
And there are a number of veteran collectors who are very sort of public about the fact they love Harry Potter. They have Harry Potter collections.
And are more than happy
They'll
for you to go, hey, could I show you one? And it's not perfect either. But, you know, it just... Again, do your research and just be careful. But again, I wish we could tell you there's magic to it. But just know what you're looking at. That's really the key. And I certainly think these are ones especially that I feel okay about, and that's worth something. And especially the sign, which is really, really great. So good luck with your Harry Potters, and thank you for the explanation. I think anything that actually helps people a little bit. Check out all our other videos at Stuff Dreams Are Made Of.